What's good, Just Do family? It's your boy KB back with another one. If this your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when new content drops. As for the family that been supporting me, salute to my TWT family. Appreciate y'all. Let's get to it, man. So it's being announced, by Mike Coppinger per ESPN that, David Benavidez is finalizing a bout for January with Jose Uzcategui, who he was supposed to fight last year around November, but that fight was called off when Uzcategui was caught with performance-enhancing drugs. And, the fight had to be scrapped. Fast forward to now, they're working on, finalizing his bout for this January. And I think this is a fight that David Benavidez, hands down, is going to win. I think everybody knows that, David Benavidez, his last opponent he was in the ring with was David Lemieux, who he made short work of. And it showed that, these run-of-the-mill opponents just don't have anything for David Benavidez. And I think the same could be said about Uzcategui. He's not the same exact fighter that he once was. He's sitting with a record of 32-4 with 27 KOs. His last loss was in 2019 over Lionel Thompson. That was by unanimous decision. He also fought Caleb Plant back in 2019 for the IBF strap. And that's the title that Caleb Plant won off him. And Caleb Plant pretty much, boxed circles around him. I mean, it was a good fight. It was definitely competitive. I will say that. Uzcategui definitely came on strong late, but he was knocked down in the second round and the fourth. Plant suffered a cut over the right eye from an accidental headbutt in the fourth in that fight as well. And he kind of slowed down the stretch, which allowed Uzcategui to come back and get back into the fight. But nonetheless, Caleb Plant handled business. And he fought to a unanimous decision victory, with 2 knockdowns in the fight, winning his IBF strap. Now, Uzcategui, the last time he was in the ring was May 20th, where he fought Felipe Romero, a journeyman nonetheless, 21-19 in one record. He knocked him out in the second round. He's riding a 3-fight win streak since losing to Lionel Thompson in 2019. And he's KO'd each of the opponents, but he's going to have his hands full with David Benavidez. I just think for where he's at in his career, he's not going to have much for David. He can be competitive because Uzcategui does come to fight. He doesn't lay down, but I don't expect him to beat David Benavidez. If we're being honest, I think this is going to be somewhat of another showcase fight for Benavidez. I think, not only that, he could be the first guy to stop Uzcategui. I just don't see this guy having much for Benavidez for where he's at in his career, and I expect it to be a showcase fight. But, it's interesting. Caleb Plant just fought this Saturday, and he fought Anthony Durrell, who's a common opponent with David Benavidez. And it kind of makes me wonder, it kind of makes me ask the question is, are they lining up Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez soon? Because, they're putting these guys in there with, previous opponents that the other guys face. Like I said, Caleb Plant beat up Uzcategui and won the IBF strap from him in 2019. Now you fast forward now, they're putting David Benavidez in there with Uzcategui. You know what I'm saying? My guess is, after seeing Caleb Plant dispatch Anthony Durrell the way he did, and knowing that, some years ago, David Benavidez and Anthony Durrell had a fight, and the fight was stopped due to a cut in a fight where many people felt like, Anthony Durrell was getting with David Benavidez and was possibly winning up until the stoppage from the cut. So I think it's a real possibility that these guys sharing common opponents could find themselves on a crossroads, on a one-way track right into each other. And I think Caleb Plant will oblige him. He already said after he fought Anthony Durrell and got that win, he was looking to face David Benavidez or Charlo. And just the way things are going and shaping out. And this fight with Uzcategui and Benavidez is supposed to be taking place and finalizing for some time in January. So you're just looking at the landscape of things and looking at Caleb Plant, how he just fought. You figure in January, Benavidez fights, and they're going to both had, share common opponents. And I think they just on a collision course, simply put. It would have been nice to see David Benavidez and Caleb Plant next, but I could most certainly understand, Caleb's going to need rest and Benavidez is going to need to stay busy. So I think Uzcategui is the perfect opponent for David Benavidez to stay busy against, and I don't expect him to suffer too much damage or punishment in this fight, respectfully. Jose Uzcategui is going to come to fight, but David Benavidez will win this fight, and he can be possibly the first fighter to stop Uzcategui. And like I said, I think after that business is taken care of, Caleb Plant will be nice and held up. You know what I mean? David Benavidez could take him in short rest, and there's no reason in the world why we and us as boxing fans and boxing as a whole shouldn't be getting Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez after Benavidez takes care of business against Jose Uzcategui in January sometime. So I think this is a good fight for the fans. It's a good fight for boxing. It's a good fight for these fighters. I mean, they've been barking at each other for years. They truly don't like each other. It's past history there. It's some quote-unquote beef. And, you just seen Caleb Plant settle his beef with Anthony Dirrell in dramatic fashion when he knocked him out, doubling up the left hook to the body and then follow up with a left hook to the head. Picture perfect knockout. Single-handedly, easily the best knockout Caleb Plant has in his entire career. It was a much unexpected knockout. I don't think he himself even expected to knock Dirrell out with that one punch the way he did. But nonetheless, he was able to get the job done. He looked very impressive doing so. He was able to knock Dirrell out in the ninth, whereas, David Benavidez was unable to do so. He did stop him, but he was stopped due to cuts. It did look like that fight was trending to go to the distance had it not been for that cut, because Anthony Dirrell is a very tough fighter, and a lot are making, the case that Benavidez and Caleb Plant is a much more competitive fight after Saturday night, and not just because he beat Anthony Dirrell, it's how he beat him and how he stopped him in emphatic fashion to shock and surprise a lot of people. Like I said, he humbled, Anthony Dirrell, and that one punch knockout, man, it just changed my opinion on this fight and between David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Like, if these dudes fight, I think it's a much more competitive fight than what people make it seem. And this slightly new version of Caleb Plant sitting down on his punches is a very dangerous guy, man. I think he's going to be dangerous for whoever he gets in there with. He's a hell of a boxer, very fluid boxer. He moves very well, shot selection, and now this guy is sitting down on his punches. He's that much more dangerous. Make no mistake about it, man. But a fight between him and David Benavidez it's got to be on the horizon. It got to be something that they're working on, putting these guys in there with opponents that the other guy has faced just to see how they measure up against, one another. And I think, simply put, it's just these dudes on the collision course and they're bound to fight. And I would love to see it because, like I said, they got past history, past beef. And what better way to settle the beef than to get in the ring and let the fist do the talking, man. Like I said, this fight after Saturday night, Caleb Plant vicious knockout over Anthony Dirrell. I don't see Benavidez just walking through Caleb Plant, how people are making it seem. I think it's a much more competitive fight simply because of Caleb Plant's boxing ability. And now that this guy's sitting down a bit more on his punches, man, he might be just that a bit more dangerous, respectfully. That's my thoughts on it. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Who y'all got winning with Uzcategui and Benavidez, and are y'all excited for that matchup? And did y'all think he was going another direction? Because I did hear he was supposed to be facing Demetrius Andre, but that's another story for another video. And as always, get in that comment section. Let me know if y'all think a possible Caleb Plant fight is in the works for him and Benavidez being at their facing common opponents. Let me know who y'all think would win. You know what I mean? Send people who will win. And as always, get in that comment section and let me know if I gave Benavidez, Uzcategui, and Caleb Plant to Just Do, because that's what I do here, Just Do Boxing. To the next one, I'm out. Peace.